Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are talking with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, looking for possible hints towards value in Major League Baseball. Right now, we're looking at the card for Wednesday. And Joe Duffy, the first thing I have to ask you about here, Clayton Kershaw, right? Finally had a bad start for him, a subpar start. Everyone's wondering what to expect from him here at home against Washington. Jordan Zimmermann on the other side. What do you think, Joe?
You know, when you got a stud pitcher like Clayton Kershaw and the fact that people are wondering about his hip, I guess it could be a decent possibility to go against him because you're always going to be getting such a great number. But at the same time, Jordan Zimmermann, he hasn't exactly been living up to expectations. He has no wins, personal wins in his last 5 starts. And he has been struggling. So this might be one of those where you're going to get a low total.
Yeah.
And I would take a look at a possible over with a low total and with some question marks about both pitchers.
And then let me ask you about John Danks and Andrew Heaney. Danks suddenly has become a very reasonable pitcher. July and August, he's been okay after a terrible first 3 months where I was looking to fade him every start. And Heaney has been great, though, coming off his worst start of the year, though. Still, that's his only one that's been bad. Normally, my instinct, I guess, would be to take the Angels here because of the pitching discrepancy, but now I'm thinking, I don't know if that's right. What do you think, Joe?
Well, in the case of Heaney, like I said, I get a little nervous about these guys that want, young pitchers, once they hit a bump in the road, how will they rebound from that? And yeah, I remember on a lot of our previous broadcasts, you have definitely been ripping Danks, and I've been agreeing with you. But at this point, as you said, he's probably a little undervalued because his numbers are deceptive because he was so horrific earlier in the year. And with Heaney, again, can he recover from his first real bad outing? I think maybe there could be some value in Danks.
You think so? Because I'm thinking, I don't know, has his July and August results been really for real? I mean, the Angels can rip a guy if he's vulnerable. And looking at Danks overall in light of July and August, I just don't feel that inspired. And then looking at the Angels lineup, I guess I'm thinking he's going to get hit, but you disagree with that.
Yeah, and really, if anything, the fact that, as I said, I'm a little bit worried about young pitchers once they're coming off of rare bad outings. Maybe the over is something to look at.
And then one game that I feel like I have a good read on, I think we might have some value here, is Tampa Bay and Atlanta, right? Matt Whistler definitely starting to get hit, and Jake Odorizzi finding a nice groove after coming off the DL recently. I think that Odorizzi's effective pitching continues, and Whistler probably will be vulnerable most innings. Strong pitching matchup for Tampa Bay here, right, Joe?
Yes, and Whistler, as you said, since the All-Star break, 4 starts, 7.04 ERA. And when you're pitching for the Braves, you could have a 1.04 ERA and still wind up losing. So you got a pitcher who's really struggling, playing for a team that's not scoring. The Braves would be a pretty good go against at this point.
All right, I think I'm liking Tampa Bay in that one. And then a sort of similar pitching matchup is DeGrom and De La Rosa, Colorado at the Mets. DeGrom absolutely dealing, probably going to give up 2 runs or fewer. De La Rosa, not awful, but probably gives up 2 runs or more. But, the Mets are going to be a huge favorite line here. I'm not sure what the right thing to do here might be. Big pitching advantage for the Mets, though, right, Joe?
It is, but like you said, you're going to be laying the lumber. DeGrom, his last 14 appearances, 1.56 ERA in 98 innings. So, I guess he's kind of making a late run to be in the Cy Young consideration, although there's some tremendous candidates. But yeah, he has been fantastic. There's zero debate who the pitching advantage is, but unfortunately, when the odds maker says, "Yeah, I know that," it's not an automatic play.
All right, and then finally, kind of a classic situation, Aaron Brooks, 2 straight awesome home starts at home, young pitcher with a lot of potential. Now, though, he goes on the road at Toronto, probably a step down from probably a lot more vulnerable, right, Joe?
Yeah, for the most part, and we've talked about that young pitchers, as a general rule of thumb, they usually have more pronounced splits, and he's going against Mark Burley, and we've talked about it, where Mark Burley is this guy just sneaks under the radar. Yeah. He's been the mark of consistency. One of these guys who, you look at his career numbers, and because he just does it consistently year in, year out, he's been tremendous, and he's got a 2.13 ERA in his last 12 starts. One heck of a pitcher there. As you said, a young pitcher pitching on the road where they tend to have more pronounced splits. Probably a good situation for Toronto.
All right, well, I think as of right now, definitely lean in Tampa Bay, and I guess leaning L.A. Angels, although if Danks throws a good game and the White Sox pull out a win as an underdog, that would not surprise me. I'll look back on it and say, man, I shouldn't have fallen into that trap. But as of right now, I'm falling into it, liking the Angels in that one. What else would you like to bring to our attention from Wednesday, August 13th, Joe?
Well, we certainly want to look. Texas has done very well supporting Nick Martinez, and they need to. He's got a 6.20 ERA in his 4 starts since the ERA, or since the All-Star break, I should say. So that's case you're either looking to fade him or maybe take a long look and see if the over is a good play there.
And Joe Duffy's final picks, as always, can be found at offshoreinsiders.com. You expect to have some winners on Wednesday, Joe?
Most definitely. It has truly been a great baseball season, even by our standards, very good. And, I'm very thankful the hard work continues to pay off at offshoreinsiders.com.